Hi and welcome back to Random Romania. Today we're going to see an English guy whose name is Luke. I found him on the Romanian Facebook group, an expats Facebook group. He's got kind of an interesting story because he's married to a Romanian lady. He's recently moved to Romania, but the main focus of this video is going to be about a piece of land that he's bought with his wife and the story behind how they acquired that land. Because like all the good deals in Romania, and it seems like a good deal, this one, there's always a bit of a story behind how they found it and how they came to successfully buy it. Okay, so we've arrived here at Luke's house, and as you can see, this is it. So I've got some questions for you here, Luke.
Great.
First of all, the thing that everybody's going to be really interested to hear about is the land deal. What was the deal with the land deal? Just explain it as much as you can in as much detail from when it started until where you are now.
Yeah. So the land has been passed down from my wife's family. About 4 or 5 years ago, I was made aware of the land. Actually, it was in Romania. We was talking, having a casual conversation. I was like, I'd love to have a bit of land. And she's like, oh, we actually have a bit of land. Took a look at it, and everyone was like, nah, it's not worth anything. No one really wants it. And my eyes just lit up, right? My eyes were like, this could be something incredible. A few years went past. People were sort of suggesting to us, problem with Romania is when things are in probate, and it was in probate, it takes a long time. There's too many people involved in the family. Whether we're going to get the deal across in a certain period, people were saying don't waste your efforts. And then about last year, we moved permanently to Romania. We made the decision to move, and it was still heavily on my mind. Can we do something with the land? We kept coming back across here, looking at it, planning, dreaming. And then we kicked it off. We managed to locate the other family members who were, I guess, entitled to some of the land. So there was about 6 people in altogether, and they were all cousins. And we kicked off the process. We asked for their ID in Romania. What people don't realise is it's not like it is in the UK with solicitors. It's very old school. Paperwork, IDs, everyone to be present. We need to find birth certificates, death certificates, who was married to who, just in the instance that somebody out there in the universe is entitled to this bit of land, and to clear that all up. About 6 months went on from the initial stage of kickstarting it, where it was just the notary, which I guess is similar to a solicitor.
Well, the notaries just legalise papers in general.
Yeah.
We have notaries in the UK, just we don't ever
use them, right?
Because the solicitor deals with all that.
Deals with them, right? So, yeah, we didn't employ a solicitor, so we went direct to the notary, and 6 months went on, and it was calling back and forth. It was, what's the update? And eventually we got there, and they said, hi, we're going to have a meeting on this Friday with everyone. And thankfully, the other individuals within the family were quite happy to sign over the land to us, and this is where we are, and we got the keys about 3 days ago, so you're very fresh.
Okay, and so from the time you started, you decided you were going to buy it, to when you actually got it, how much time elapsed?
January this year to now, so it's about 9 months.
So the best part of a year.
Yeah, best part of a year.
And you heard about the land some years before that.
About 4 or 5 years ago, and I came in. I was just like, this is incredible, and everyone was telling me it's not worth it. The legal process you have to go down, and what I've noticed in Romania, it does put a lot of people off. There's incredible amounts of land there.
The thing is, people coming from England just don't expect all this, and they don't understand it. And when you start telling them exactly how things work here, they don't really believe it. They think it's some kind of con or whatever. But actually, for anybody watching, I'm glad Luke said this, because it's really really important that if you want to buy a piece of land here, you understand how these things work, because the best way to get a good deal will inevitably have some kind of story like this behind it. If you've got something that's just ready to buy through an agent off the internet, the chances are you're probably paying twice what you need to pay. Sorry to interrupt this video. Just want to show you what our sponsor does here. These are Victron inverters. and they go with solar panels and these battery packs. And basically what they do is they pre-assemble these systems and ship them to the customer site. They get connected up and just turned on, can be configured remotely or on site. The most important thing to understand here is all this complex wiring is done in the factory and then shipped to the site ready to go, which is a very interesting service that I've not come across in many places. And these battery packs here are from, in this case, a Tesla car. They're upcycles from the cars, so that's better than recycling them because there's no recycling process. They're just used for this application. And here's another battery pack. These are some other battery pack from a different type of car. And this one's got these lights in it because it's used in a trade show to show off the product. But it's pretty interesting stuff and quite unique. If you're interested in this kind of thing, look in the description of the video and we'll put some links in there for you. Yeah. Okay, all right. So why did you decide to move here? I mean, what was bugging you in England? I'm assuming something was bugging you in England.
Of course, there was a lot of things bugging me in England, right?
So just to give us a list of things that were bugging you in England and why you chose to move here and what you see, how this will improve your life.
Yeah, I think the main one, which my wife will definitely pick up on, I was a workaholic. I was in the slug. It was 9 till 6, if not more. Every day was just repeat. That was a big sort of, I came here, every time I was coming to Romania, it was like, wow, life is more simple here, right? It's not so materialistic. We were being materialistic in the UK without even realizing we're being materialistic, right? We're having nice cars, nice homes. And yeah, okay, the salaries in the UK are better, but when you add up with the cost of living, and the cost of living crisis really did hit us last year in the UK, actually you're not better off net wise. So here it's a strange saying that I keep saying to people: I have less money monthly, but net I am better off.
You're just better off life-wise.
Better off life,
yeah.
Quality of life. You know, people don't care what car you're driving. It's just like, wow, okay, your car gets you to A to B. They don't care what TV you've got. Great, it's got the same satellite TV network coverage as my cheap TV. So that was one of the main things. Two, my wife fell pregnant. We had our first child.
Did she give birth here?
She gave birth here in Romania, and that was do we do it in the UK or do we do it in the hospital? No, we actually used a public one, but then again, we were very lucky that my godmother, because when you're in Romania, when you get married, you have godparents. She was a midwife, so
that's handy.
Very handy. So she was at the birth. She was the first person to hold my son. So yeah, we decided that our support network here was actually greater. In the UK, grandparents are still working, right? They have to work. They have to, my parents have to go to work every day to afford to live, right? In Romania, traditionally still now, okay, it's changing because of the times, but grandparents are taking a step back and they're helping bring up the grandchildren. There was a better support network for my wife. It wasn't that I'm going to go to work and the wife was going to be at home on her own, right? So
yeah, it was like that in England like 70 or 80 years ago. It was
exactly,
totally normal.
Exactly,
it's all,
right?
It's all changed.
Exactly like that. And I just wanted to experience living abroad. I had the opportunity. I always said that I want to live abroad somewhere, and Romania I just fell in love with from day one. So yeah, they were the top three ones.
Just the basic idea, what do you like most about Romania, and anything you don't like? Just to give me a first. And well, I mean, you've been coming here for a while, so just tell me what you really like. You like the people? Yeah, the people are absolutely friendly, fantastic. Majority of the people are. That I think that's a stereotype that the UK people don't realise. They think Eastern Europe and they think, oh, is it really safe? But actually the people are so welcoming. The food, the quality of life, how simple it is. And I'll say one thing: the most simple thing I love about Romania is there is a road about 10 minutes from our house, and when you drive down towards it, you just see the mountain range in the distance. And yes, it's 2 hours away, but in the UK, that would have been like the dream, right? To see something like that, and that's just something simple that I love. It's an interest that I like. I know exactly what you're talking about because I live in the foothills of the mountains, and you can just drive up into it and go where you want, and you don't have any problems. People are very relaxed about. If you want to pull off the road and have a picnic or something like that, no one cares. You imagine you try and do that in England, someone will come out and complain. Anything you don't like about Romania? Anything that bugs you?
I guess going back to the process of the house, right? It's not just with the house; it's everything you do here legally. Even getting my residence permit, you know, the amount of paperwork, you know, everything is paper, paper, paper. The person at the institute at the time, it seems to me, they decide what the rules are on the day, and sometimes it can take 3 or 4 trips back and forth to get things sorted. So paperwork is a problem, although, you know, you've got Bucharest, which is a thriving technology hub of Europe, which is absolutely crazy, but everything is done by paperwork. You know, that is my biggest, I said, pain. The second one is people sometimes do frustrate me on the roads. It's like they get in their car and it's like, hey, just today I'm going to decide whether I'm going to overtake 10 cars or 1 car and risk everyone else on the road. So, but you adapt to that as you live here. You actually adapt to it and you go, actually, it's not so bad.
You get used to it.
You get used to it.
Driving at night here is quite an experience if you come from the UK.
Yeah,
it's amazing what you get used to. Actually,
I have to constantly tell my family members, hey, it's dark here, like very dark, and the lines are not so visible, so be careful.
And horses and carts without lights on and stuff like that.
And bicycles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. About what were you doing in the UK before you came here, and when you came here, obviously what you were going to do when you got here, work-wise, was a concern. What did you end up doing, and how did you get the job, and how's it going? And
yeah. So I would probably rewind about 7 years ago because it's probably relevant to this story. I was probably living each month by my means, and then I sort of switched on, Ryan. I was like, I need to make myself employable. And what I mean by that is, if I don't like a job, I can leave it and I would be comfortable in life to do that. What I was doing in the UK, I was working in supply chain procurement. I owned a couple of businesses. One, fortunately enough, I sold to a larger organisation in the UK. So I was lucky on that front. And then I managed to work hard and just progress myself up in supply chain. I worked for a big automotive company there. I then went into consultancy. And I also actually worked for the UK government in consultancy as well. So that's what I was doing there. I sort of realised in the end I didn't really want to do supply chain procurement. You know, I was a business guy through and through. That was a very niche part of business. And then when we decided to take the move, I'd never had a period where I've not worked. And my wife was just like, hey, we're okay, right? We're okay. Romania is not like UK. You know, you don't need a lot of money to survive here. So the plan was, she was like, take 2 years off work. I was like, 2 years? I'm not sure about 2 years.
How long did it take you to get bored with that?
10 months. 10 months.
I was sure.
Yeah.
When I came here, I did the same thing for like 6 months. I did nothing, just to unwind and kind of recalibrate, and it was a very good move. But after 6 months, like, it's driving me nuts because I need to do something.
Yeah, and to be fair to my wife, I was probably driving her nuts, right? Just because of how I am as a person, right? I'm probably just like constantly in the bag, like, oh, we should do this, we should do that, and she's like, no, we've come here to relax, come here to bring our baby up and relax. So yeah, 10 months, and there was 3 industries that I decided that I wanted to pursue in, and it was sports, film, or gaming. Just for me, they were the top 3 ones out there, which currently are just constantly bringing in not billions, but more. What are you doing now? So I'm doing business development for a company in Bucharest.
That means basically helping them grow their business and markets, right?
Exactly,
right. It's a bit of a broad term.
It is a broad term, but in terms of my role, is exactly that. You've got it spot on. So I'm looking after current clients, but my main focus is also growing the business. And we're going out hunting new clients. We're keeping up with the industry trends, making ourselves more relevant. And how I got about this job was actually for an expats group. Right. On Facebook.
Oh, that Facebook group where you've,
exactly, how we connected on there, and someone recommended me to it, and I sort of connected with the hiring manager, had a couple of interviews, and it just fell in place. Like, the hiring manager was absolutely great. I'm absolutely thankful for the opportunity. It's not the salary that you get in the UK, but actually it's not so bad when you compare it to the cost of living, right? So yeah, it worked out well for me.
And you were saying, when we were talking on the phone the other day, you were saying, because I thought this was an interesting point, that I guess the owner or whoever hired you was surprised that they could get access to your skills, and that was really cool for them.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because there's not so many expats in Romania. I know it's growing. I mean, you see in our Facebook group, there's probably like 3,000 members on there now.
That was 24,000 members on that Facebook group.
That one was
Yeah,
24,000.
yeah.
Yeah, so the one I was talking about had
Oh, it was a
3,000,
different one, yeah.
different one, 3,000. So it is growing. But comparing to other European countries, there's still not so many, right? And the people who are applying for jobs, because of the legal system here in Romania, you do have to get the right to work, and it's not so easy to get the right to work. So he was just like, this is fantastic. Their client base was North American, global. It was mandatory to speak English, although they've been fantastic with me, supporting me, trying to speak the Romanian language. But it's mandatory to speak English. He was like, to get talent access to this it was incredible. So it took me back as well.
The reason I ask is because I actually put a poll up on my channel. One of the things, the biggest concerns for people when they're thinking about coming here is what they're going to do for a job.
Yeah.
And I always say to people, if you want to come and live in Romania, you need to make money offshore. The perfect situation is have a business in another country, send your money here and just live your life here. That's the perfect situation. But it seems you can actually get a job as well, and a decent job.
Exactly.
I'd not heard of this situation where
Yeah.
a Romanian company actually said, "Oh, great, we've got an English guy to market in the West," and it works well.
And I think it's growing as well. People are starting to realise that, and would realise they would have, they would like to have better access to talent out there. And I think the UK's perception is Eastern Europe, it must be super cheap. The salaries are not so good, but actually, when you weigh it up, it's really decent.
Also, there's a lot of normal kind of middle class people wanting to leave now. It's not the oddball characters from 20 years ago. It's
and middle class is a strange one, right? For me, middle class probably 30 years ago, you bought a house for a reasonable price. The husband went to work, the wife stayed at home. Actually, middle class people are now probably getting themselves in debt. They're getting cars on finance. They've got huge mortgages to keep up with because the property prices in the UK are phenomenal. And the salaries are probably only 6 times more than they were in the 80s, whereas properties are 40 times more. So,
well, I had a business in the 90s, and I was paying myself what was probably a normal salary for then, and I had money left over at the end of the month.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that now.
Yeah, no, so we are lucky because we have property in the UK. So that does give us a safety net.
What are you renting that out?
Yeah, we're renting it out, and because of the area in the UK, we are getting decent enough return on that. So we do have a safety net. So you do need to come out here with a plan, because my concern is the first 10 months to my wife, and it must have got her tired, was super concerned I'm not employable here.
Yeah.
Why would they employ me because I don't speak the language? Why would they? And it was constant. I was like, after 2 years, we're going to have to go back to the UK. And thankfully, my wife was very patient with me and was like, calm down, you'll be okay. It will happen. And then it happened.
I hope all you people watching this are listening to this chap, because he's a good inspiration for others wanting to come over here. Because people don't believe they can do it, and I talk to so many people who they just keep on putting it off. They keep on finding excuses.
Yeah.
But one day you're going to wake up and your life's going to have gone, and you think, why didn't I do that? Because in the end, it didn't really matter,
Yeah, and then when we show you around the land, what I've got here, and hopefully this might take some people back. It's taking me back because it's like a dream.
So just explain to me exactly what you've got here, because it's 2 pieces of land, right?
2 pieces of land, which is separated. We're talking around, I think, total 10 acres. I'm looking hectares wise is between 2 and 3 hectares.
Yeah, that's about 10 acres.
Yeah, about right. So we've got the main bit of land which ventures down just the back over there.
This is just like a strip with the houses on it.
Exactly. Yeah. This is a strip with the housing on. We will need planning permission to remove the house because we will rebuild, but this is the bit where you can build a house on and do everything there. We got out the front. It's all gated entry, and that's another thing in the UK is if you have a gated entry property, it's like, wow, you're super rich. Yeah. But in Romania, it's a custom. You have gated entry, so that will be at the front, and then we come down. We've got the main bit of the house here, the barn area, which is you can see behind us. Unfortunately, it probably will go. And then at the back here, we've got a small area which was originally fruit trees. I'm talking plums, apples, pears. Behind that would have been the original vineyard where we had the grapes growing. And then behind there is all agriculture land where you can grow all your produce, your crops. And that's the main bit of it. And then the side bit of land, which is about 5 minutes away, is another agriculture bit of land, and it has a small foresty area.
Is it more or less split in half?
No, I think majority of the land is here, and then there's another bit of land is over there, and the other bit of land was being maintained by a family member just to keep it going, so it wasn't abused by other locals. So yeah, it's hard to describe, but when you see it from the drone, people will see that there's a good amount of land, to be honest with you, here to work with. When I was in the UK, my dream was always, when I spoke about where I want to live and be and do, I wanted to like live in a farmhouse, right, and be a farmer. Have no skill set to do it, do not have a clue what I'm talking about or what I'm doing. I'm the biggest imposter, right? But to get a farmhouse in the UK now is the luxury thing to do, right? It's probably a couple of million quid, if not more, to even get a significant amount of land. And then I bought this, and I think this is the dream, and I think, what the hell am I doing? You know, I look at this, I don't even know where it ends. We think it's the two small trees right in the distance. I don't know, it's an incredible bit of land. Same again, like what people don't realise in the UK, people see this and go, wow, like to get that must have cost you millions, but we're talking a few thousand here, you know, in euros, and what you can do with it. We're going to have a self-sufficient life, grow our own crops, somehow come back when we're actually doing it, and yeah,
so
this is the dream.
When I started making these videos, I was telling Christy all this stuff, Christy being the camera guy here, and I know the way you used to look at me, but now other people are confirming the same thing, you see, so people are...
Romanians don't know what they've got.
Nor the Brits.
Nor the Brits, to be fair, yeah. We're alike, but this is just remarkable what I can do with this here, you know. It's not even just I have plenty enough crops to be self-sufficient, I have plenty enough crops to even sell, pass on to family members as well, so very lucky, very fortunate, and I'm so glad I can show you what we've got.
Okay, all right, thanks very much for making the video with us, it's really cool. And
Pleasure.
Any more expats out there watching our videos and want to do an interview like this, be really appreciated, and we'll be back soon with another video. Bye for now.